One thing to note, this is definitely a bear market rally. So the reason why I'm so I'm still on the argument that we are still in the bear market is because the feds are so hawkish. And I do think that sometimes these Hi everyone and welcome. I'm your host Jitsuko Toshiro, bringing you guys the latest cryptocurrency updates. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and we're going to do the weekly outlook. I love to do these videos because they give you basically the foundation for the week. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Here is my tag, Jitsuko Toshiro. I currently have 53 subscribers and I appreciate every single one of you. And then another thing I want you guys to do is please follow me on Twitter. This is my Twitter profile. I give you guys real-time updates of what I think is happening in the cryptocurrency market. So I hope you guys find these videos helpful. Let's go ahead and get started on today's video. So today you can basically see what Bitcoin has done for the week. And I warned you guys last week that basically we had a very bullish close on the weekly candle. We might expect some more highs before we go down any lower. And that's exactly what happened. So as you can see here, Bitcoin has been basically consolidating around this $15,000 area zone. And it didn't give any way to the lower side. And I warned everyone that we might, because we're seeing some rounding on the dailies, that we might actually head up before we come down. I personally thought we would actually just tag maybe 22K or 23K, but not go any higher. Now I'm expecting something a little different. I have mentioned in the past that these rallies, they tend to rally pretty hard. And let's go ahead and take a look at a major key area of resistance. This is that $25,000 area, and I think we're actually headed straight there. And then another key area of resistance, let's just tag it while we're here, is this $30,000 area. One thing to note, this is definitely a bear market rally. So the reason why I'm so I'm still on the argument that we are still in the bear market is because the feds are so hawkish. And I do think that sometimes these bear market rallies, they do rip up pretty high, but they tend to basically just do, crazy percents before they head lower. One of the things I wanted to point out to you guys was the last bear market rally we had, which I mentioned in a previous video. It basically went 300% before we saw the COVID lows. Am I expecting 300% with Bitcoin? Absolutely not. Just because there's such a large market cap now that those percentages are just being diminished. And so as we mature in the asset class, the percentages do decrease, but that gains trust that people want. Now you can see we are trending up. We're approaching the key areas of resistance, and I mark them here. What I do expect to happen is basically some sort of rounding out up here. So we could consolidate here, come up, test this 30K, and then come down. And that will give us the lows that we're expecting, or we can just get rejected here at this $25,000 area. I think this is highly unlikely, just because we're giving so much strength on the weekly candles. This weekly candle basically has 1 day to close, so depending on the close, it will actually tell us where we're going. Now, if the close isn't in, don't be surprised. Sometimes what can happen is you get a doji candle. So what happens is we're moving up so high, and then all of a sudden you get a massive sell-off to end the week, and then we're kind of like split here in the middle. If we end up closing the candle less than 2/3 of the whole wick, so we have basically a long wick and then a nice strong little bottom, that is actually a topping candle. So then that would be the end of this move. So wait for this weekly candle to close. And if you're watching this, you don't really know what I'm talking about, wait for me to tweet it. I'll tweet to you basically what I think of the close on the weekly candle. So take a look here. We had a nice strong move up. Let me zoom in on that candle just so you know what I'm talking about, okay? So you can see it looks like we had a nice little move up. this weekly candle, I can guarantee you, was full at one point, right? But then it ended up closing very bearish. So you can see that the candle was sold off to end the week, and that was the push. Then that was basically the indication that we are going to go lower. So we can see something like that here. We still have a full day of this candle left. You can get a sell-off, and then basically you get a wick up until this point, and that would be a nice little topping candle that people would be expecting, and that would give you a lower high overall. So there's a lot of what if scenarios right now that can play through, but keep your eyes on these two resistances. If we do close bullish, we are going to head up higher to that. And so let's go ahead and look at the daily candle. And one thing I'd like to add is the RSI. As you can see here, I mentioned this in the previous video, but we are forming what's called a bearish divergence on the daily time frame, and it is pretty big. So what a bearish divergence is, basically when you have higher price action coming up and you get a lower price action down below on the relative strength index, basically telling you there is not that many buyers buying at these levels. Rightfully so, because we are still in what's called a bear market. Now, these things take a while to play out, obviously, especially after such a strong, almost parabolic move to the upside. So we have to give this some time. You're going to get some consolidation here and then come down. Or you could actually just get resistance here, come down here, get that sell-off, and get the sell-off here as well. So there's a lot that can play out with these relative strength indexes. You just got to be patient with them. But it is telling you that no one's buying. As you can see, like, they tell you bottoming and local bottoms and local tops. They don't really help you with the massive moves or the massive lows. They just tell you when a move is kind of dying out. So I think that the move to the upside will die out. I think we'll get some retracement. Now, the retracement is definitely going to come back into this $18,000 area. That's untapped liquidity that we want to basically go in and tap. And then another thing I want to tell you guys is we do have a lot of, we do have a lot of liquidity sub 15. And I think we will chase those and get them out. So those are a few things that you need to keep in mind. Yes, we are moving up. We're moving up fast, but I think the move is coming to an end. And next week is going to be very telling. We might actually start the week off bullish and end basically red. We might wick up here and then come down. The move is getting weak. So just keep that in mind when you are trading, that we're getting some divergences on the daily. We might even have some on the low time frames. Let's see. And we do have a massive bearish divergence on the lower time frames. I like to trade the 4-hour chart. You can see here another bearish divergence. Obviously it was showing in the day, but you can see it even more prominent on the day, on the 4-hour. So low time frame, I'm expecting some new lows unless we can break these highs. We could just rally all the way down, so keep that in mind when you're trading. Yeah, so we're approaching a key area of resistance. This is too cliche, this 25,000. I think that we either don't get there or we get there and smash that that resistance. It's not going to be in between. I don't think we're going to consolidate here like how we did around this area. I think that it's going to be one or the other. 30K, I do have my eyes on 30K if we get past 25, and I think 30K will be the maximum full send area. I actually think we might top here. This might be the local top, this 23,000. I called it last week. I said 22 to 23 might be the area. And the reason being is because, you know, you have to understand there's a psychology to trading, and so you have to play the mental game. And you know, my background is I am a training physician, and a lot of what I do has to do with the psychology of humans. So when you have a patient, you have to put yourself in other people's shoes a lot of the time. One of the things I like to do is I like to apply that here when it comes to trading. I like to apply the psychology of what it's like to be a trader, and you can see a few things. So number one is people are going to mark the same things on their charts, right? So they're going to mark the same resistances here, for example, and they're going to be like, well, there's a key resistance here, obviously we're going to go down from there. So everyone is thinking the same thing. Now you have to outsmart the whole basically population that's trading and say, well, technically we can actually just not get there, or we can go above it. So one or the other can play out. Technically here, I think that we might not get to 25 and we head lower, or we smash through 25. Notice I'm not saying we're going to consolidate. We could consolidate there, but I think it's highly unlikely, just because it's a key area of resistance that people are expecting to be resistance. For example, you can see that here basically, so we had this $22,000 resistance, and you notice that we didn't even consolidate in it. People probably marked this on their trading charts and they just noticed like, whoa, we didn't even get resisted there. And the reason being, it's all has to do with psychology. So we actually smashed past it. That is my indication that, well, technically we can close the daily here and then come down. And that's why I like to mark zones of resistance, because you can't get it to the dollar, unfortunately. So we're gonna face some resistance here. 30K max, 23 is a solid area of resistance, and I don't think that we can actually pass it. But we'll see how this weekly candle closes, and I'll revisit this discussion with you guys next week. So if we do currently close the candle like this on the weekly, it is very strong. If we close the weekly basically with the bottom of the 2/3 of the candle, I'm expecting more lows. So I'll keep you guys updated as we move forward. Keep your eyes on that weekly close and tweet at me what you guys think is going to happen. See a lot of people calling 24,000. I see a lot of people calling 30. Rightfully so. Those are key areas of resistances. And just tag me if you have differing opinions. I love to have a discussion. All right, you guys, good luck trading. Best of luck being profitable. If you guys like this video and watched it to the end, please like it, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you.